Chair, it is common cause that there is a need for law enforcement agencies to coordinate their efforts to eliminate duplications where necessary. So I think let's specifically give the duplication to the JCPS cluster to develop an organized crime and corruption strategy, which will align the investigations as it relates to organized crime. As we speak, Chair, for example, we have an issue of Mr. Matlala, whose case is in IDAC today. Tomorrow is in the PKTT. The other day is in crime intelligence. The other day is at IDAC. So we do need that coordinated strategy that must be developed by the JCPS cluster to coordinate matters in a proper and efficient way so that we don't have duplications and infighting about things that really do not matter. Chair, I think we have part of what we have noted as this committee during the testimonies is that we can all agree that IPID has been compromised. Compromised daily and being made an ammunition by some people in the security cluster against some people in the security cluster. So I think, Chair, we should stress it that IPID should recruit and train investigators independently from SAPS, DPCI, and IDAC. So we should give powers to IPID to recruit its own staff. You'll recall the issues of someone being moved from crime intelligence to IDAC, from IDAC to IPID, from IPID to this and that. So we need an expedited legislative amendment that gives IPID to do its own recruitment on issues of staff. An issue, Chair, which is raised in theme 5, which is organized crime, infiltration, and institutional resilience. Here we want to recommend, Chair, that the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, the Minister of Police, must also develop a framework that guides the movement of personnel in between the different enforcement organs of the state. Just what I've just said, the SAPS, DPCI, IPID, IDAC, you'll find that there is a lot of duplication in terms of recruitment of a personnel. If you'll recall, we once had a discussion about some fellow Mr. Johnson who was moved from crime intelligence to IDAC with some recruitment process being in question also. So I think there must be a standardized framework developed between the Department of Justice and the Ministry of Justice and the Minister of Police on how the personnel is moved amongst these organs. Chair, we mainly have dealt, fortunately, Chair, I also speak on this matter as the chairperson of the Portfolio Coordinator on Justice. We mainly have dealt with the powers of IDAC. The powers of IDAC in the main are derived from executing the recommendations and findings of the Party Commission, of the Nugent Commission, of the Zondo Commission. But the NPA Act actually allows them to deal with any matter of serious corruption matter that they deem it fit to deal with. And Section 27 of the NPA Act actually accords them powers to act on referrals, where a certain Mr. Ngola suspect that a certain Mr. Skosana has been involved in a serious corruption matter, and I go and make an affidavit. But We think in the main, Chair, the threshold to those referral is just too low, in that it just requires me to present my face and do an affidavit, and it ends there. Then IDAC investigates. So our thinking, Chair, around this aspect is that the Portfolio Committee on Justice should look at amending the NPA Act, in particular, Section 27, that gives powers to IDAC to act on referrals. Because the allegation at the face of our people is that IDAC, through that Section 27, is now being weaponized as an agency that fights individual battles instead of fighting corruption, the same issue that it has been established to do. You know what's worse, Chair, is that with the 3 commissions, from the official establishment of the changing of IDAC from ID to IDAC in 2024, they have only finalized 9 matters out of hundreds. Because they are small resource, they even directed to some other things that they've got nothing to do with the findings of these 3 commissions. So we move, Chair, here by recommending to the House that let Section 27 of the NPA Act that deals with IDAC referrals be dealt with. Chair, I think let's say it here in this meeting that what Mr. Adams alleges to be a receipt of an intelligence information from a particular door doesn't really make any sense. And we think that how even it was adduced arrogantly in this committee feeds to the same narrative that Mr. Adam would have been used also to enter the battle that has nothing to do with him and his parliamentary obligations. But I'm saying, Chair, was what is our worry mostly here is that there is intelligence information that is going around exchanging hands. If an intelligence information can be found under a door of a person, it means there is intelligence information that is going around changing hands, which is very dangerous for the sustainability of the security of the country. So we want to recommend, Chair, here that the crime intelligence must actually investigate this matter further. And also want to give an obligation to the, I'm so hurt, oh yes, Mr. Cameron is here. Want to also say, Chair, as coining this recommendation, the Portfolio Committee on Police must have regular oversight follow-ups on this matter. Because our belief, Chair, is that the work of the ad hoc committee in relation to the matter at hand ends, but the work of Parliament in relation to the matter doesn't end. So the Portfolio Committee of both police and justice must also follow up on the matter.
The discussion raises significant concerns about how South Africa's law enforcement agencies coordinate their work in combating corruption and organized crime, rather than focusing only on individual allegations. Members of Parliament questioned whether the current system allows unnecessary duplication of investigations, poor communication between agencies, and possible institutional rivalries that could undermine public confidence. A key issue raised was the role of the Investigative Directorate against Corruption, IDAC. Some MPs argued that while IDAC was established to tackle serious corruption, its referral powers under Section 27 of the National Prosecuting Authority Act may need to be reviewed to ensure they cannot be misused. Others emphasized that any legislative changes must still preserve the ability to investigate genuine corruption effectively. The debate also highlighted concerns about the movement of investigators between SAPS, IPID, the Hawks, Crime Intelligence, and IDAC. MPs suggested that clearer recruitment and transfer policies could strengthen the independence of these institutions and reduce potential conflicts of interest. Another recurring theme was the need for better coordination. Speakers called for stronger cooperation between SAPS, the NPA, the Hawks, IPID, and IDAC so that agencies work together instead of conducting overlapping investigations or competing with one another. Ultimately, the discussion reflects broader questions about accountability, institutional independence, and the effectiveness of South Africa's criminal justice system. Whether these recommendations result in legislative reform remains to be seen, but the debate underscores Parliament's ongoing oversight role in ensuring that anti-corruption bodies remain focused on their intended mandate while maintaining public trust.